Spring flooding happens every year, and with the rising temperatures, the city of Ottawa officially launching their flood watch. And with those devastating floods in 2017 still fresh on the mind of many, the city simply not taking any chances. They describe it as something out of a movie. But just to give you an idea of the magnitude of this fire, I'm going to step out of the frame for a moment here. I want you to take a look behind me. I can tell you that we've got several businesses confirmed to have been affected by this. So we've got the fish market at the end of the corner there. We've got vineyards. We've got Victoria Trattoria. And we're going to stay on this shot for just a second because we want to show you the water gushing out of the front entrance of that restaurant. A very challenging day ahead for residents in Pembroke. Now, I want to show you something to my right here. This is the Pembroke Waterfront Park. And as you can see, it is completely underwater. This is something residents say they have not seen in decades. They have not seen the water creep up this high in years. So certainly a concern. Now, I'm standing on a permanent berm here, but take a look over to my left. You can see a temporary berm that the city actually built. You can still hear some sump pumps running. That's because those homeowners have generators. Hydro was cut off to about 150 homes along Bayview Drive at around 9 o'clock last night, leaving some homeowners powerless. Good evening. We begin with another shakeup coming to Ottawa. CTV News has confirmed Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will shuffle his cabinet tomorrow. The move to fill the position Jody Wilson-Raybould left behind before she resigned over the SNC-Lavalin affair. Pot is now legal in Canada, but that was not always the case. So what happens to those with pot possession convictions? Well, the pardons are coming. Here is CTV's Megan Shaw. DNA tests began in Ethiopia today, a process that could take up to 6 months, but death certificates could be issued in about 2 weeks. A memorial service for all the victims set for Addis Ababa tomorrow. Todd. The moments leading up to this end position were terrifying, to say the least. As you mentioned, this happened just before 4 o'clock. That is a very busy time for students. For many, the real fight starts now as they begin to rebuild their lives. But for one homeowner who gave us an exclusive tour of his house behind me, he says this time it's a home that just cannot be saved. Good evening. We begin tonight with the future of Ottawa's new Central Library. It is being billed as a landmark destination with an extraordinary design. It comes with a hefty price tag, too, of nearly $200 million. But tonight, there are questions about what the uncertainty of LeBreton Flats might mean for this library. Here is CTV's Leila Ronk. I've spoken to homeowners in the area, some who are relatively new homeowners who just picked up some of these houses just 6 months ago, thinking they would be in the clear because after that 2017 flood, they thought they wouldn't see another one this extreme so soon. I can tell you this community has really done everything they can do to prepare, including this sandbag wall here that goes along Bayview Drive. This in hopes of, if not stopping the water, at least slowing it down. Now, whether it'll work, that remains to be seen. Richard had been keeping tabs on just how quickly the floodwaters were moving into his backyard. By 11 o'clock last night, the water had reached this point right here. Less than 12 hours later, though, the water had creeped forward and past his wall of sandbags. The first time around, the NCC went all in with Rendezvous LeBreton, led by Sens owner Eugene Melnick and Trinity Group's John Ruddy. 2 bitter lawsuits and weeks of mediation were not enough to solve their problems, bringing us back here to square one and to the NCC's new approach. Hundreds of thousands of government workers are hoping their first paychecks in more than a month will come quickly. But some are concerned they'll be right back in this position when government funding runs out again in 3 weeks. ABC's Ariel Reshef has more.
When the road got taken, that was the end for us.
For hundreds in Constance Bay, the fight is over.
We didn't have a choice to leave. We had to go.
To enter your house and see 2 feet of water.
It's been a long couple days.
Feeling as battered and as soaked as their homes. Melvin and Megan Vianker left it all behind.
We can't stay. There's nowhere for us to stay in our house.
A voluntary evacuation is in place. The city stopping just short of forcing people out. With 2 fires in 24 hours, officials say it just isn't safe.
They asked us to leave. We're not going to leave. There's no way.
For others, the fight continues.
We've been rebuilding it by hand for the past 2 years. Sorry.
Sarah Zielinski lost her home to the floodwaters of 2017.
It's exhausting.
Her husband lifted the house up several feet. It has been spared for now.
We just moved back in after 2 years this week. So to move back in and then have the floods happen again and to be even higher and more stressful, it's been really hard.
You can still hear some sump pumps running. That's because those homeowners have generators. Hydro was cut off to about 150 homes along Bayview Drive at around 9 o'clock last night, leaving some homeowners powerless. After weeks of building up sandbag walls, they had to throw in the towel.
I said, "Are you here for me?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, how long do I have?"
It's a story Melissa Lepage is all too familiar with.
I can't believe this is happening again.
Seen here in 2017, evacuating her home on Bayview Drive.
We're still in our home for now.
Lepage told CTV News Sunday she was ready to leave if she must.
We knew that the water was going to come up, but we never expected it was going to come up this much. I just can't believe we're here again. We have another bag in the other room.
For now, this is home. But back in Constance Bay, the levels will soon peak. With so much water to recede, there are questions of just what it will leave behind. A lot of fear not knowing what you'll return to.
Exactly. Or if we can even return to our home. At this point, we don't know if our home is salvageable and if we're going to be able to go back to Constance Bay. We don't know.
Christina Succi, CTV News. This is how Les Serraz gets into his house.
There's a bit of water in here.
Not the entrance he ever thought he'd have to make again. For so many here, this is what the return home looks like. So this was a bedroom before?
Yes. Yeah.
Serraz has lived through this before, back in 2017.
Had to cut all the drywall out, rip all the floors out. Yeah.
And now?
Same thing. Same thing. Yeah. A lot of work. I don't know if it's worth it, eh?
If they offered you $200,000 to leave, would you leave?
Yes, definitely. Done in Alberta, they did it in Quebec. We're the nation's capital here.
A buyout has been offered to residents in Gatineau to move out of flood-prone areas. No offer from Ontario yet, but it is still possible. Do you think this house could be salvaged?
I don't think so. A lot of properties in the Bay are cottages. It's not going to recede for a couple of weeks, so you can't even assess what the damage is. You can't do nothing. You can't even put the garbage to the road because the road's covered with water.
With so much water to recede, many worry what they will find, as questions of dam management fester among the waterlogged remains of their lives.
We'd feel better if you hear too many rumors that this is empty and that's full and this and that. You got everything tracked. Could you show us from the first dam to this last dam, the levels?
You're looking for some answers.
Yes, exactly.
Officials tell CTV this flood, like 2017, is not related to dam mismanagement, but record snow in the bush and a very wet spring. So many unanswered questions. Residents now just in a holding pattern, hoping that while the water was quick to move in, it will be just as quick to move out. But that is far from certain.
3 of those Canadians were honored today at memorials, 2 students and a prominent professor. Here's CTV's Christina Succi.
Praise my soul, the King of heaven.
Remembered as a man who sought truth and never shied from controversy, hundreds say goodbye to Pius Adesami.
Pius has done his best for mankind and had left us behind to continue his good work.
At home in very different places, a man from Nigeria, a professor at Carleton University, a leader far beyond the lecture hall.
All these ideas that you have been sharing since morning.
The husband and father of 2 moved to Canada to pursue his PhD, turning down offers from prestigious American universities as he became a pivotal figure in African studies.
And we're really proud of all he's done.
Also today, a memorial at an Ethiopian Orthodox church near Halifax for 2 young students from Ontario, Angela Rayhorn and Danielle Moore.
They were at Dalhousie University, so it's just not only our own Ethiopian people, but people that have touched the city.
In Ethiopia, loved ones touched by tragedy, forced to leave the crash site without a body and without closure. At the same time, Ethiopian officials received some information from the plane's voice recorder Analysis of the data recorder continues in Paris as investigators look into disturbing parallels between this disaster and that of another MAX 8 in Indonesia 6 months ago. Both planes crashed after flying out of control. All MAX series planes are grounded as Boeing updates crucial software. DNA tests began in Ethiopia today, a process that could take up to 6 months, but death certificates could be issued in about 2 weeks. A memorial service for all the victims set for Addis Ababa tomorrow. Todd, it's no secret that this location has been a magnet for criminal activity for years, and now McDonald's saying it has reached a breaking point. Following our story on Monday, the owner is reducing the hours and adding in private security, a huge change that he says he knows will come at a cost to his bottom line, but it is the right thing to do.
They do their dope deals. They do everything there. It's open.
Open 24/7, the Rito McDonald's was somewhere to go at any time. That is until today. Following a story CTV News broke less than 48 hours ago about chronic violence and danger at 99 Rito, the franchise owner responded, saying in a statement, after careful consideration, starting today, the restaurant's hours will be 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. We will also be adding security when it's open.
It's a bold business decision. It's an important step in the right direction, and I think it's the right decision.
In March, Ottawa Police Chief Charles Bordelot taking the unusual step of writing McDonald's head office about the notorious spot.
My officers were getting frustrated. They were throwing up their hands in the air. They were trying to do everything they could to help and try to make this area safe. Just last Friday, we were here 7 times, and Saturday 7 times as well.
The fast food restaurant is ranked second in the capital in most calls for police. In 2018, police received more than 843 calls, a stark increase from the 647 in 2014. Officers responding to everything from petty crimes to drug deals and violent assaults. The reduced hours, the addition of security, do you think that that is enough?
Well, that's going to make a big difference.
McDonald's is the second largest fast food restaurant chain in the world. Needless to say, the corporation carries a reputation far beyond the borders of Ottawa. But whether they had a role in these decisions, that remains unclear.
This has been an ongoing problem here. I mean, it should have been cleaned up.
Those who live in the area telling CTV News the changes are long overdue.
It's so bad down here now. Like, you just don't really feel safe at night.
I think that's a good idea. I think a lot of people will be reassured.